Okay, in this video we are going to show you how to run overdue notices and print out an overdue list. Okay, so again, we're at our dashboard here, and for this we can't use our action buttons here. We need to actually go to the file menu at the top, and for running the overdues is what how we phrase that normally. We click here on reports and go down here to mail out reminders. And this is going to open an option for you to send overdue notices to all of our patrons. So we're going to have right here on the left hand side, that's today's date. Anytime that you open this program, this part of the program, it's going to default to the current day. But we don't send overdues to students who have books due today. We send them to students who have books that were due yesterday or before. So we always change this to the day previous, whatever the previous day is. Now, we can click generate here, and this is going to tell us the list of all the students with overdue. It takes a moment. For the purpose of this video, where we print out our overdue list that we look at, our circulation report, that's in a different place, and I'll show you how to do that. But for now, this is just showing you, okay, so it gives you the list of students and patrons with overdue items, and then it shows you what that overdue is going to look like. But we don't need to print these. If this were in the school year, if I needed a specific person's overdue, for example, if maybe a patron lost their overdue notice, or I just forgot to print one, or whatever the reason, I could click on this person's overdue and just print that person's. But typically we are going to use this button down here called Special Mail Out Processing. This is going to take us to allow us to send email overdue notices instead of just printing them. On this page, Special Output Processing Mail Out Reminder, we don't have to change anything on this page. We just leave it as it is and click Next down here in the right hand corner. This is telling you the database is all ready. Click Start. And it does take a couple minutes because it is generating those overdue notices, and it is sending them to the patrons that have emails registered to their name. And then what it should do is bring up an option if the patron has no email address registered in their account, it will pop up a window asking you to print those. And typically during the school year, we do print the elementary overdue notices, and we take them down to their classrooms. But because we were in the system and in the process of doing e-learning for the last maybe even 2 quarters of school, almost this last school year, everybody has an email address that is listed for their student. So it didn't give us that option. But really after this, once the processing has been done, you're done. You just click finish, and it's going to bring you back to that mail out reminder report, and you're done. You can just X out of that. Those overdue notices have already been emailed, and I can show you what that looks like here. This is what the patron gets when they see that. Okay. Now, in order to print our list that we post here at the circulation desk for librarian purposes, we're going to go to this button right here, Circulation. This action button is very useful to see items that are checked out. It will show us all the circulation. So right now the default is that it's showing only, in this button over here, we have only checked out. These are all items that are checked out, and you can see right here, right now, there are 106 items checked out of the database. So these are the items in black are current, meaning they are not overdue. The items in red are overdue. So to print our list of overdue items, we do not need to have any of those items that are current on that list. So over here, we're going to select this button right over here that says only overdue, and that's going to limit our report to only those items that are overdue. I can use this, then I can look, okay, and sort by grade and say how many in each grade have overdue. I like having it by the patron's last name, so I like to leave it in that one. This tells us the call number of the item, when it was expected back, when it was checked out, how many days it is overdue, how many times it has been renewed, and then the author. So this is very helpful, especially when you have a student who comes in and says, I received an overdue notice, but I already returned this item. Well, I can very quickly then find their name on this list and then go look for that item. Okay, so it's exploring great inventions in 609.21. Let's go see if it's here. And we can go check the shelf, and it could be that the student brought the book in and they mistakenly put the book on the return cart instead of putting it on the circulation desk. Maybe they used the self-circulation feature and didn't correctly check the item in, so it was put back on the shelf without actually being checked in. All of those things are legitimate concerns, and we can check that right away. If that were to happen, we could just go back into the system and cancel out their fine for that overdue item, and we can, from this page then, down here at the bottom, we have action buttons to check in, renew, process a lost item. The item button will take you to the record for that item. For example, if I thought, well, maybe this is in a special collection, maybe this is in the teacher's books section, maybe it's in the candy sale books section, I can go to that item and see where exactly it is in the library. Or I can go to the patron record in the patron list if I need to. Now, if I'm going to, in this window, I can check in this item, I can renew it, I can process lost items, but for this video, for the sake of this video, what I'm going to do is just print this list. Okay, so we've got our list ready. These are only the overdue items. I'm going to click down here where it says actions. I'm going to click listing reports, generate listing report, and you can choose any of these items. This is just telling you how your report is going to be sorted. So I like to put just by the patron's last name and the item. I know some of the other librarians like to see the items by grade so that they can make sure they get the right number of overdue notices to those elementary grades. So it doesn't matter which one you choose on this list. I'm going to go ahead and click by patron and item, that first item, and it's going to look just like that list that we print every day. Now this is a place where you can title your list. For example, if I wanted to say overdue for July 15th, 2020, I could type that in here. I could put Mrs. Marquez's naughty list here. I can put students on my bad list, really anything, I'm just joking, but anything you wanted to put here. You don't have to title it. It doesn't matter if you hit cancel or apply. If you enter something in here, if you want to name it, you can click apply. If you're not going to name the list, that's fine. You can just hit cancel. So this is that list, and that title that you would have typed in just now would have been right here if you chose to name it. And this already has the date on the bottom of the list here. So it's not really necessary to title it with the date, but you could if you wanted to. And again, this looks exactly like what we're going to print. So now in order to print, if I click this button right here with the asterisk, the little orange asterisk on it, that's going to take me to quick print. It's just going to automatically print to the default printer, which is fine unless somebody has changed the default printer to the receipt printer. Then you're going to get this whole list printed on the receipt paper, which can be quite long. So what we want to do, just to be on the safe side, I always just click the print button here. on the left, and that's going to open my print dialog box. Make sure that it's on the library HP here, and then I just hit print. And that will print to the printer in the Resource Center, and I can go get that and put it on the desk. So that is how you print your overdue notices, send overdue notices through email, and how you print the overdue list.